guys, Chris here with Eric Americanboy, and we're about to put some Super Sport Springs on his 340i. So we've done the Sport, and now the Super Sport is going to be on this car, which is actually a little bit lower than the Sport. So we'll put his Instagram up and in the links, and we'll check him out. All right, guys. So first, what we want to do is remove this plastic. There's three 10mm little bolts, the nuts that you turn quarter turn. Pop that off, set it to the side, pull off this rubber piece here, set it to the side, and these 5 13mm and one 18mm E18 is gonna come off here later. For right now, let's remove the spindle bolt. All right, guys, so first we're gonna remove our spindle bolt, which hard to see, but there is one side of it here, and then the other side is on the back side, so just goes right through. This is an 18, the back side is a 16. So let's remove that. Pretty easy there. It's not torqued very high. It's not supposed to be. There's our spindle bolt, it goes just like that. So just remember the bolt's gonna go this way. Although it's not the worst thing if you mess up the orientation, but it goes in. All right. Now there's a couple of little brake sensors and whatnot right here. Let's just unclip those, make it easier for us. And then that whole bracket, this whole bracket just kind of pulls off the back and just kind of let it hang there. So there's that part. And now what we want to do is we have this tool called a spindle spreader, and it's just an oval shape. We've seen it in other videos. When you turn it, it spreads the spindle just enough to loosen this shock up, the strut up. So we're gonna put it on a ratchet, put it over here, and then we're gonna stick it in the back of the spindle and just spread it open. All right, now we have this is your sway bar end link. It connects to your sway bar. We need to remove this bolt. It is a 5/8, and then the inside here is a T30. And the reason you want to do that is because it will counter spin. It's made to do that so it doesn't come off in case something happens. So we're gonna do this, we're gonna put this on here and start, first off, just try to loosen it up. There it goes. And then we're gonna put in our counter. Just turn it till it fits and start moving it. Start loosening it up. So now we got that off. Oop, okay, we got our bolt off there. Sometimes you need to just put like a little bar here and then just push down on the sway bar a little bit, and that'll just really easily loosen out your end link. Then just drop your end link out of the way, and we're almost there. Now what we learned on the other side is that we actually, for the rear wheel drives, we want to remove the steering wheel. It's the steering tie rod. Yeah. What do they call these things? Tie rod. Is it a tie rod? Yeah. So loosen your tie rod because it just doesn't let the knuckle drop far enough. So for all-wheel drive, we didn't have to do this, but for the two-wheel drives, we do. So we'll remove your tie rod here. Pretty easy. We got a 21 and a T40. So same like we did the end link. We gotta use that. So let's start loosening that up. Loosen your tie rod because it just doesn't let the knuckle drop far enough. So For all-wheel drive, we didn't have to do this, but for the two-wheel drives, we do. So we'll remove your tie rod here. Pretty easy. We got a 21 and a T40. So same like we did the end link. We gotta use that. So let's start loosening that up. And that's gonna stop it from kind of rotating. And you could turn either one of them, but in this case, it's easier for me to turn the actual counter. You're gonna go to your left, so like you're turning left. Yep, keep on rocking. Perfect. We're gonna rock our knuckle here until we get out. So just keep rocking, pushing it down. There we are, we're free. So now we can go up top and remove our 13mm and our E18. So let's get that going here. These are torqued to about 25, so they come off pretty easy. All these 5. And then we got the E18, which is a reverse star there. We're good. There it is. Simple as that, guys. So let's get the spring compressed first. You can rent these actually from your local hardware store or auto store, but I just chose to buy mine, which is like 20 bucks. This is like a lot of springs I've done with this already, so I don't even know how many, but it's been a lot. So compress your spring down real good. Make sure we get the other side. We don't want this thing to pop. Could be bad day. All right, so now we can take off the hat. It's a little sideways there. To take off our hat, we're gonna require an 18 open socket. And you're gonna make sure you got your orientation right. So loose. We got a 6mm Allen that drops in there. And then we can use our ratchet on top of this. And now you're gonna counter rotate them. So one's gonna go left, one's gonna go right. It might pop a little bit. We'll see. All right, there it is. Get the hat off. Just press on the, that's a little uneven. All right, we can put it down. It says the hat's a little uneven, it's just gotta pop out, but you can open your spring compressor. All right, so we're gonna need all these parts that are coming off here except for the spring. So we've got the boot, the stop, and then our spring. So let's get the new one. There's a difference. Whoa! That's gonna be a thumbnail. There's a difference between the springs. All right, here's what we're gonna do. We got a stop right here where the spring cannot move past that. That's kind of where we want it to land. So when we move the spring around, it's gonna land on our stop, just like that. Now when we put on our boot next, and I don't think I'm gonna be able to compress that. And we're gonna compress our spring a little bit here, just to make sure we can get it on easy.
how it has them pins, the old school ones that we have.
Yeah, a little safety. So we're gonna drop this, put our stopper back on. It has little grommets that it goes into. Put our spring on. Make sure it's touching the stopper here. Now we got the bump stop. This goes on the top of the hat right here. It'll eventually probably fall off, but for now we're gonna do that. Then we're gonna drop our hat on top of everything and kind of compress it down to where we can catch a couple of threads. All right, now we can tighten it back down. Just get it started first. You'll feel the tension when it starts moving the spring again, or the counter bolt. Get it in there and start tightening up. It'll actually stop completely when it's tight, so you don't have to go crazy. You'll see it'll just dead stop. Boom, that's it. It just stops. You don't have to over tighten. Remove your compressors. Both sides here. And here we have it. Simple as that. Go back in. We can kind of stick it in there for now. We could actually release our knuckle spreader. It'll tighten it up into place. So when you release this, it'll just tighten right up. Alright guys, we got that taken care of. What we're going to do is we're going to press just a little bit to get clearance so we don't destroy his fender and come up. Now what we can do is push this up and catch a bolt. Sway bar. Start that guy up too. Have a couple in there. Alright. Now we'll have Eric turn. Actually, let me see if I can do it. I don't have to come back. So we'll have Eric turn the wheel to get this back hooked up. Alright, let me see 1 second. Right there. Stick it up in there. Let's put our bolt on it, or our nut. Go down as far as you can here. Alright, get that nice and hand tight. It stops just like every other bolt with the counter. Release it. Alright, here we go. We got the sway bar end link. Just kind of bend it in. We can use our crowbar to just slightly push on the sway bar and it just goes right on in. Pretty easy. Same thing. Get your nut on, or yep, and start tightening down. And that's it. It just stops and you're good. Get our spindle bolt, and remember how it goes. It goes this side in, so that in, this is the other side. We've got our bracket back here that just connects to the spindle bolt. It just kind of has a hole that goes through it, so it's pretty easy to line up. All right, so it's going to be a 16 and an 18. And you, again, just get it nice and hand tight, and then give it maybe a couple more turns, and that's it. We don't want to go crazy tight on these. It's a cast bolt that'll break. I broke one before, actually. And you, again, just get it nice and hand tight, and then give it maybe a couple more turns, and that's it. We don't want to go crazy tight on these. It's a cast bolt that'll break. I broke one before, actually. That's it. And then put our lines back in, our electric lines for sensors. That's all in. Everything's tight. Spindle's in. The tie rod's in. So we are good to go on this one. Now we're going to go back up top here, and we're going to tighten up our final amounts. All right, now we're going to get them tight in a cross pattern and a quarter turn. So that's all you need up here. It's 25 foot-pounds, I believe. So don't go crazy. You'll crack them or strip them. Same thing with this sway bar. That's it. All right, guys. So then we got our little plastic here. It cups right on over the strut tower there. Then we're gonna get our plastic piece, get it past there, in, get it all down first. And then quarter turns on these to tighten. And we're in. That's it, guys. Alright guys, so we're on the rear shock, which is considered the easy one. Alright, so we have a shield underneath here, just a plastic little shield, protective shield, and there's 4 10mm nuts we have to remove. And it's pretty self-explanatory, they're just holes right there, and we're just gonna remove these nuts. I removed one already. Alright guys, so now we got an 18mm for the strut and a 21mm for the hub, and for the knuckle. And I'll remove this shock, the strut first, then the knuckle, and you might have to play around with the actual, put a jack and ray and play around to get them out, or you can kind of use the impact to actually screw them out as well. So let's get on that. So first we can just loosen one side because the other side's really tight, so it doesn't need to be moved yet, and this is really torqued on there, so you really gotta get some strength in it. There we go. Once you loosen it, put a key on the other side, socket on the other side. There we go. And then you can finish it the rest of the way. All right, guys, so that's when that 18's out. Does it keep going or no? Just try to back it all the way out. All right, we'll try to lift it a little bit. Lift it until we get the bolt out. go ahead and try to. Good. Drop it, hold it down. That's it. Now guys, we're just gonna simply pull down on this part right here and pull our spring right out. Get the boot from, if it stays up top, there's another boot, 2 boots, one on top, one on bottom. So we're gonna take our spring and we're gonna use the top boot. There's a stopper right here. So you're gonna put the stopper on the end of the spring, drop it down, twist it, make sure you're in there. Same thing with this one. There's a stopper on this side of the spring here. Put it on the stop, on the end of the spring, twist it, make sure you're on. And we have a nipple right here. This is the bottom of the spring. This nipple gets inserted right in this hole. Right here on the outside, not the inside, there's a hole right there. So let's get that spring in, like here. I'll get that put in. So there, all right. And our boot fell, so we'll put our boot back on. There we are, springs on. So first thing guys, let's get our strut bolt back on. Get the jack under it. Lift this area here so we can apply strut bolt. Just move your strut into place. And all right, next we're going to lift it a little bit higher so we can get our knuckle bolt in. Let me see where we're at. A little higher. Go ahead.
There you go.
Here's the mallet if you want to pop it once. Oh, it kind of moved a little bit. There you go, pop it through. Moved a little bit. Right there, see if it goes. Gotcha. Shield, but you know BMW's got to be
Yeah.
extra special.
That's the extra $100
Oh,
plastic
yeah.
port.
There's where $60,000 comes from.
Yeah, just plastic.
All right, let's get all 10 of these nuts in, guys. So that's the first rear-wheel drive suspension that we've seen on YouTube done all the way through, no?
Yep.
Check out Eric's channel, guys. All right, guys, so we just finished Eric's car, and it's looking pretty damn good. We just have to, he's got to get a camber fixed on this wheel, but that's not taken away from the look of it. Here it is. Beautiful. All right, guys, so thanks for watching the video. Again, Eric Americanboy and Chris here. So we just did that. I think that was the first video that we've seen on that's on a rear-wheel drive 340, because the actual front of these cars are a little bit different on spring installation than the all-wheel drive. The all-wheel drive, you don't have to remove any parts off the actual suspension. And this one, you do have to remove the tie rod in order to get it to dip far enough for the strut to actually come out. And that was his idea, and it worked. So he knows what he's talking about. All right, guys, so I'm gonna link his channel below. It's under construction. As soon as he gets it up and running, I'll send you guys over there. Check him out. He's got a beautiful 340 and a lot of stuff going on with his project. He's gonna be doing big things as well, and it's already quick, and it's gonna be a lot quicker. So thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next video.